Hello, it's me, and I'm back with a new project. More specific, my Halloween costume for this year. And for that, I'm going to be using this, which is a welding helmet. It was my brother's. He got it like a while ago and he let me paint on it, but he doesn't use it anymore. I asked if I could have it for a project, and he said yeah. So, yeah, this is what I'm working with. So as you can see here, I'm turning this into a clown. To start, I just added some scratches here and there because the plastic was just too smooth and whatever I'm putting on top was not going to stick. So I did that real quick with my Exacto knife and some sandpaper. And because I wanted the mask to have like a big smile, I'm going to cut the extra parts out of cardboard. Also added where I wanted the smile to be with a paint marker. And those pieces that I'm taping right now, those are basically going to be the cheeks. Here I just wanted to have an idea where everything was going to go. This idea has been in the back of my mind for like 3 years too, and just because of that I already had like such a specific image of what I wanted. After that, I added some toilet paper and some cardboard to start building the smile and the cheeks. I also added some toilet paper and tape for the nose. And taping that real quick. Then I used smaller pieces of tape just to keep everything in place. After that, I grabbed some pieces of cardboard from a cereal box, and these pieces are basically going to be the hair. And again, I just had such a clear image for the hair and everything. After checking how the hair piece was going to look with the mask, I quickly went back to working on the mouth. And pretty much I just started filling the empty space with toilet paper and more tape. After that, I covered everything in the same clay that you have literally seen me use in every single of my projects. So while letting the clay to harden, I pulled out some black paints to just to paint the inside of the mouth and to cover the old drawings. And here I pretty much went back to working on the mouth again. I gave some cuts to the mask with my Exacto knife, so the clay had something to stick to. And something I have found out is that if you want your piece to look smooth and don't have a bunch of bumps and stuff like that, don't use this clay. Getting like a very smooth surface seems to be impossible with this clay. Yet again, this clay is for kids, so maybe that has something to do with it. And now, pretty much, this is how the mouth is looking like now. It's one solid piece. Next, I wanted to attach the pieces of hair, but I didn't know how to, so I quickly went to get some help. And by help, I mean going to ask my dad to help me out, and he actually was able to do it, so thank you, Dad. The next day, I went outside with this, which is a foam, and I wanted to add it to the pieces of hair so I could like shape the hair however I wanted it to be with my Exacto knife, like carving wood, I guess. Now, I do have to say that use gloves, or maybe better, use something that's not literal insulation foam. It got all over my hands and it was such a hassle to take off, and it ripped some of my skin off my fingers. Yeah, that day was quite the experience that I sure have learned from. Read the directions, and if the thing says to use gloves. Don't be like me. Okay, back to the project. Here I'm going to be moving to doing the hair. And by that, I'm going to be using some foam sheets. I think that's what they're called. By the way, here you can see how beat up my hands are. Anyway, so I'm going to be gluing the ends of each strand of hair to the foam base, and I'm going to pretty much do that individually with each little strand. Alright, here you can see what I meant. I've been pretty much stucking the ends of each strand into the foam with my X-Acto knife and then putting a little bit of glue after so it stays. I liked the effect that was giving, although it was very time consuming, I have to admit. But I was not giving up. I was going to finish this mask and I was going to make it look pretty. Here I'm going to pretty much start cutting the little pieces of hair, and by that I just went with my X-Acto knife and just cut a bunch of pieces, different size, different shapes. Here I'm going to show how I was pretty much putting the strands in. It was a very time consuming and a very stressful thing at times. Some strands will not stay, others were coming out while I was working on another one. But at the end, again, I made it work. I put a little bit of Gorilla Glue on each one. Wait, let's just all ignore the Roku control remotes. I was watching one of the Spider-Man movies and I forgot to move the control out of the way. While I was working on this, my mom asked me where did I get the idea from, and honestly, I don't know. When my brother got first this helmet, I don't know why, I just looked at it and I was like, that will be a very sick clown mask. And I am happy I am finally making one of my ideas come true. As you can see, this is how the hair ended up looking like. I really liked it. I've never done something like that before. This was the first time and I was very surprised with myself and the results. While the hair was done, I went back with the clay. I added a bit on the sides because they were a bit too beat up for my liking, and I also just basically attached the hair and the mouth together to be one piece. Next on my list was adding the teeth. I didn't know what kind I was going for, so I tried a bunch of different ones and I ended up with this shape. After cutting a bunch of them, I pretty much just went back with the clay and I slowly started to add them into the mouth. It was pretty much the halfway mark for me on this project, and by this point I remember I was so tired. I was so tired of this project. I think I worked on this project for maybe 3, 4 weeks in a row. I gave myself the weekends off because there were times where I really needed a break from this mask. Anyways, here is how he was looking like. And by this point, I remember giving him the name Gordon. Where did that came from? Where did I got that? I am not sure. Maybe I was just thinking of Kitchen Nightmares when I was working on him for some reason. Do every artist gives names to their projects? And I don't mean like, oh, giving a very proper name to your piece, you know? But like just very random common names to whatever they're working on. Like okay, so I did 2 sculptures for my college class, and I remember one of them I named Bruce and the other one I named Susan. Why? I don't know. I was just working on them and these random names will just come to my mind, and I would just accept that, like, okay, his name is Bruce now and she is Susan. But, like, it's not a first time thing for me, and now this is Gordon, so that will be his name till the end of times now. Here you can see that Gordon is starting to look more like what he's supposed to look like. I also added these little toothpicks to the blue bands, so there was just more going on in there because I thought it looked a bit too empty. After that, I painted his teeth and he was pretty much done. And well, obviously, this is now a Halloween mask, and I think the proper thing to do now is to put the headband back on and try it on. Okay, so this is Gordon. This is the end result. Of course, I'm still missing the outfit for him, but I'm gonna take care of that when Halloween is a bit more close by. I'm going to be posting the whole costume on my Instagram if you are interested in seeing the whole final result. But for now, this is it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time.